Welcome all to the weekly outlook. Boone here from EWPRO. Getting straight into the weekly outlook, starting with the DXY on the daily. Nothing's changed. You can see the structure that I'm looking for, a 333 in here before we get that A, B, C. On the daily, on the H4, we're still waiting for a retracement. So I'd be looking for a retracement in here and then looking for at least a C up. And more than likely, this can definitely turn motive and give us those 5 up. So just waiting for that retrace. On the lower time frames, I'd really like to see this low here being broken and give us a correction, and then you could look for a sell just for a C down, and then I'd be looking for a buy setup to go and break the top and possibly give us 5 waves up. AU, very similar to DXY. I'm looking for that 333 in here before we get that A, B, C. And the H4, when it loads, does it want to load? Here we go. Here we have on the H4, we got those 3 up, went up to that 100 fib. We got to bounce off. We do have a possible ball hidden here. I'm not really looking for it to go and break the top, but we may get a deep correction in here. And then I'll be looking for downside. I'm more interested in the downside at this stage on the lower time frame. And we do have 3 down on the H1. So we have 1, 2, 3 down in here with bullish divergence. We're starting to get a little correction in here on the lower time frame. So I'd be looking for more upside. I'll be looking for some sort of a flat here. We got a choppy wave breaking the top. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get an A, B, C in here, some sort of a flat before we get like an A, B, C. And ideally it turns motive. But yeah, at this stage, if you go down onto the lower time frames, it's more of a sell, a scalp, like if you look on the M5, you'd be looking for, we've got all that bearish divergence. We've got an A. I'll be looking for some sort of a flat in here before we get A, B, C. And that may turn motive or just give you the C down. So you could scalp the C down, and then I'd be looking for the buy for the A, B, C. And like I said, that may turn motive like DXY. GU, you can see what I'm looking at. I'm looking for this C down to finish off this B wave before we get more upside. On the daily, H4, I'm waiting for a correction. Like many of the others, I'm waiting for corrections. This is sort of already given 3 down now. 2 on the H1, like 1, 2, 3 in here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see that larger correction now. And then I'd be looking for the A, B, C. And like I said, pretty much the same as the others. It may turn motive. So once we get this correction in here, it'd be a good idea to look for that sell. EU, nothing's changed on the daily. I've had these arrows on for a long time. So nothing's changed. It's pretty much following the arrows. We got the 5 up on the H4 up in here. We got a nice impulse down. So again, like the others, I'm waiting for this correction, and then I'll look for the sell. NU. Looking for a 333 in here as well, like the others. Like we get 1, 2, 3 in here, and then we get the A, B, C. I just don't have the arrows on this one. We got the 5 up on the H4. We've got a nice impulse down. So again, I'm just waiting for this correction and looking for the sell. GY, I'm looking for a larger C down. This on the lower time frame, we may get a like complex correction in here. More than likely we will. Like I'm looking at like we got this A, B, C here, but I'm looking at like a possible A, B, C in here as well, and we get another one up, so we get like a W, X, Y, X2, and a Z up before we get that to finish off that ending point of wave B on the daily before we get a sell set up. So this is looking very much like a setting up for a running or expanding flat in here. So if you are looking to sell, you're selling into a C wave, so you can, but yeah, then I'd be looking for a buy for that possible flat. UY, I'm looking for more downside too. Looking at this like flat in here, A, B, C in here. It's turned expanding, but then I'll be looking for an A, B, C. So I'm looking for downside. This may give another higher high on the lower time frames too. So I'll go down to H1 because sort of looking at some sort of a flat in here. So we get a W, X, Y, and then we get some sort of an A, B, C in here, another running or expanding flat before we get the Z up to finish off that B wave, and then I'll be looking for the sell, for that C down on the daily. So again, we may get another flat in here. You could look for a sell. You're trading in a correction, but it is a C down if we're looking at this as an A, B, C. So you can look for it, but then I'd be looking for a buy after this C down. And you definitely can look for that C down. It may go from here, like, it may not give a flat in here. And if you get in on it, if you get a setup, well, you never know. It may go and fall over from here. It pretty much goes for all the pairs as well. And they're all very similar. So UCAD on the daily, I was looking for that wave Z up there. It never happened. Instead, we got this very large correction in here. So eventually, this top is going to be broken, and it may even get broken with this impulse up in here. If I go down to the lower time frames, you see what we got. We had those 5 up in here, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up in here. We had that nice impulse down, and I was looking for more downside in here. It did go and break that ending point of a wave A in here, this C down. It didn't go as far as I thought it would, but we got 3 down in here. A nice impulse up. So again, I'm waiting for a correction in here to buy, and that will more than likely go and break the top on the daily. So, but yeah, at this stage, I'm just waiting for that correction. On the lower time frames, well, on the H1, we may get another one up before we get that larger correction. I'd be looking at like 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5th one up. So we get a correction in here, get the 5th one up, and then get the larger correction, and then we buy. if this turns into a nice correction in here, you definitely can look for that wave Z up as well, or wave 5, whichever way you look at it. The Swissy on the daily, looking for downside. We had that nice impulse up in here, and I was looking for a correction, if you followed me for a while, to give us a C up. I still am looking for that, but this has become very deep to this A wave, this correction in here, and it may not be over still. We may get like an A, a B, a C in here, and then we get an A, B, C as a running or expanding flat before we get more downside. Looking at a flat here, a possible flat. It hasn't quite got to that 100 fib we were looking at for the buy. I'm looking at some sort of an A, a B, and a C up as a flat after these 5 down. If you remember, we got these 5 down in here and we lost all the bullish divergence. So I'm looking for a larger correction before we get more downside. On the H1, we're getting a lot of bearish divergence. So pretty much just waiting for a sell on this. There is no sell at this stage. Even on the lower time frames, it's still more bullish. It's quite choppy. If you have a look at the M15, we sort of got 3 up breaking the top. We get an A, a B, a C down as a flat, and possible another one up. So wherever it ends, at this stage, I'm still looking at this as rather bullish because we do have a bull hidden here. I think it did just go and break that top. I'll just double check. It may not have just broken the top. I'm not quite sure. I think it didn't quite break the top, but it's very deep. So I'm just looking for a correction, like an A, a B. We get a C down in here, and then another one up. Then if you get a nice impulse down and a sell setup, well, I'm more interested in the sell. But at this stage, you really, you'd have to watch, if you're looking for the sell, you'd have to watch this possible flat here, because you may get another one up. EG on the daily, we got all this bullish divergence, like I've been mentioning hundreds of times in these daily outlooks, only looking for the buys. We may finally start to get something. It may just be an A, a B, and a C. So looking for like this A, B, C here at the flat. Then we get like 1, 2, 3 breaking the low, and then A, B, C as a running or expanding flat for more downside. But at this stage on the lower time frames, and because where we are on the daily right at a low, as soon as you start getting a bullish setup, it pays to take it. Even if it's just for a C up like this A, B, C, even if it's just for this, you never know, that may take off. But it's giving a nice setup. It's more on the M15. It's giving an ideal setup. We got a nice impulse. We got bullish divergence, nice impulse up. If you get this correction, nice correction in here, definitely worth taking. You'd have to be careful of this 100 fib. If I just put that on there for you, but you'd first be targeting this 100 fib for the A, B, C. So you'd have to watch this area here because it may be a running flat and it falls over. So yeah, but we may get a really nice buy here Monday, Tuesday next week. WTI, it's pretty much going where my arrows are looking for. You can see I've had this on here for quite a while too. I put this arrow on over here when we were getting this one down. If you remember, this one did go a little bit further than I thought. We did get like the A, B, C up in here. So now I'm looking for this A, B, C. We're getting this C down in here now. And then I'll be looking for upside. It's pretty much, there is a possible, it is possible that we get another one up in here for some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ending diagonal in this flat. So we get an A, B, C, and an ending diagonal in that flat. So we have a bull hidden in here. So I can't rule out another high here. We're getting bullish divergence on the H1. So if you get a nice impulse up, a correction, you can look to go and break that top. It's more of a scalp, but with that bull hidden in play on the higher time frame, if you get a buy set up after you get this bullish divergence, you can look for that to go and break that top. So I'm more interested in a buy, but yeah, you need the impulse first, and we don't have that. So yeah. Gold's just kept on going up. We're getting this bearish divergence in here on the daily, like I've mentioned. I'm really only looking for sells. It's not giving us the sell setups. It's giving these buy setups still. Like here and over here. Here is a buy setup as well. It's not giving us any sell setups, but I'm more interested in the sells. The H4 was starting to get bearish divergence in here. But again, until you get a nice impulse down and a correction, well, only then you can start to look for sells. If you're buying, you're just scalping. If you're looking for the buys, you're just scalping. And at this stage, like on the H1, for example, you'd be looking for a wave 5 up, like some sort of a 1, 2, 3. You wait for a wave 4, and then you could look to scalp a wave 5 up, and then a nice impulse down, a correction, you look for that sell. I'm more interested in the sell because of where we are on the daily. We don't know how high this is going to go, and it may just keep on going up, and that's fine. But yeah, once we start to get all that bearish divergence, you really got to be careful. So yeah, at this stage, I'll be waiting for a correction and trading a wave 5 up on the H1. Silver looks like it's going up to our targets finally. This one was a lot slower than gold. Gold just blew straight past our daily targets. But we're looking at that WXY, X2, and first target and second target. That 123.6, it's just about, price action just about hit it. And that 161.8 is the second target. It's too late to get in now. Like, if you're not in it, you don't want to be buying now. H4, we're starting to get all that bearish divergence. It's more of like 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth wave up, and we're getting bearish divergence. So, I mean, you could go down onto the lower time frames, and look for a wave 4, and then trade a wave 5 up. For example, you got a flat in here. You get 1, 2, 3. You wait for the wave 4, and then you trade a wave 5 up. More than likely, excuse me, this wave 3 here will get up to that 123.6, that first target, and then we start to get this retracement, and then second target, I'd be targeting that 161.8, that second target on the daily. Bitcoin, this is bullish, like I mentioned. Well, it hasn't played nicely. I was looking at that 1, 2, 3, 4, and a fifth wave up here. It never went. Instead, looking at all this as corrective. It's very similar to USD CAD, this Bitcoin at the moment. So we never got that fifth one up. Instead, it gave us that large correction. It's been quite difficult to trade because of what's happened on the lower time frames. It's more scalping. Excuse me. Because I was looking for it to go from here. It did give us 3 up in here, and then it gave us that sharp one down. So yeah, it hadn't really played nice. And in here, I was just looking for a correction for another one down, for an A, B, C. It never gave that. Instead, it went and broke this top. But then we got this 3 down in here. We're looking for a buy. If you go back through my video last week, you'll see that we're looking for a buy in here. It's more on the lower time frames, but yeah, again, now you can't. You pretty much have to leave it alone now, because on the H1 we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up with the bearish divergence. So you can't really do much. There was a bull hidden in here. I showed this in the group, to trade that up. Now you got to be careful, because we may get a larger correction in here, and we get like 5, 3, 5. So now, if you're looking for the buys, you have to wait for a correction if you're looking for the buys. And at this stage, there is no sell on it. There's no sell on it. And if you're buying up here, you're really just scalping on the lower time frames. S&P 500, again, very similar to gold. I'd just been saying, stay out of it. We're getting all that bearish divergence on the daily. We already got the 5 up. We had this sharp move down in here. Then we got 3 up, breaking the top. So I'm looking for a flat. I'm looking for a C down in here. And then if we get a buy set up, well, then we could start to look for buys again. But until we get, a larger correction and a buy set up, it's very risky to be buying. H4, we're getting all that bearish divergence. H1, we're getting all the bearish divergence. You just do not. Well, I don't buy into these. On the lower time frames, you're just scalping. You're just scalping. There is a bull hidden in here to go and break that top. It's already broken the top. Yeah, bearish divergence. After that, you're pretty much staying out of it. I mean, this may turn into like 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3, a larger correction in here, and you get more upside. But you're buying right at the top of the market. You have to wait for a nice correction before you look for a buy again, or else you'll get cut to pieces. I'm more interested in a sell. Wherever this ends, I'm looking for a nice impulse down, correction, and looking for a sell. But again, there is no sell set up on it. More than likely, this is a flat, like I just showed in here. There's some sort of a flat happening in here, and we get more upside. So, yeah. AU200. Still looking at that as a C up. See, I'm looking for this larger C down. We got 5 down in here, and 1, 2, 3 up. So I'm looking for this down in here for that flat before we get an A, B, C. As you can see, it's more on the weekly, that larger correction. H4, we're getting all that bearish divergence. I just don't buy into this. Right at the top, there is a bull hidden in here. In here. So I wouldn't be surprised if it goes and breaks the top. But then, wherever this ends, if we get a nice impulse down and a sell set up, I'm more interested in the sell. And at this stage, it's just not giving that. There's no sell setups on it yet. The FTSE, this is looking very bullish. And we're looking for it to go and break that top. It hasn't really given us that time factor yet, but it looks like it may go from here. This looks like a flat. We got a nice impulse up, an A, 1, 2, 3, well, it hadn't actually broken the top. So we may just get a regular flat here, like an A, a B, and a C in here, before we get possibly 5 up, but I'd be looking for at least 3 up. So I'd be waiting for this C down in here and a buy set up to join. Lastly, the DAX. We're getting a lot of bearish divergence on the daily, this one again, really more interested in sells, but it's not giving sell setups. In fact, we were looking for this. If you go back through my video, we had that nice impulse up. We were looking for a correction. It only got back to that 38.2, but looking for at least an A, B, C, and that's what we got. Starting to get bearish divergence here now. So again, you really can't, if you're not already on it, you can't, I wouldn't be looking to buy up here. We may get some sort of a flat in here and we get 1, 2, 3 up in here. And then possibly an A, B, C in here as a larger flat or something and more upside. But, at this stage, we got bearish divergence between the two tops. So I'd be looking for at least a C down before I'd be looking for a buy. And for a sell, for a sell, you want a nice impulse down and a correction to look for at least 3 down. We don't have that yet. So, you're either staying out of the market or just scalping to the upside, and you're really only just scalping. And like I said, you really want to see a C down or something like that, and then a buy setup before you even consider looking to buy. So I hope you all enjoyed the weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.